everyone, Cameron with CBM Reviews here, and we're on the next episode on the road to Infinity War. This time we're talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron starred everybody that was in the first Avengers, but this time we're adding a few new characters. James Spader is the villainous Ultron. Paul Bettany now has his role as Vision, and we add Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch and Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. Before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of my subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing to CBM Reviews, and thank you for everybody that watches my channel. It really means a lot to me that you actually take some time out of your busy schedules and everything to watch the content that I create. If you haven't subscribed already, all you got to do is click that button down there, and we are actually having a giveaway. If you click the annotation where we're giving away a lot of things, if we reach a certain amount of subscribers, one of the things that we are giving away is the Marvel Cinematic Universe Collection on Blu-ray. So if you want to get in on that, just hit the subscribe button and you're automatically entered for that giveaway. Also, I want to thank all the people that watch it in my more popular states. Of course, my home state is Arkansas, spoiler alert. I also want to thank the people that are watching in Tennessee and Texas. And there's one fan, I don't know who you are, but you watch it in Kentucky, you watch every single Road to Infinity War. I want to thank you personally because that's awesome. You watch it from start to finish. I appreciate that very much, so you get a special shout out. If I had to describe Avengers Age of Ultron in one word, I think it would be ambitious. This is not saying that it's a bad movie. In fact, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first Avengers, and that is maybe the problem because the hype behind Avengers Age of Ultron was massive. It was gigantic. I remember the trailers when they first came out. Everybody was going nuts over this movie that was about to come out. And when it came out, like I said, it was still good. It was directed by Joss Whedon, but it just didn't have that same something that the first Avengers had. Well, the story starts off, the Avengers are together, they're going after the staff that Loki had in the first Avengers. They get it, but Tony has shown some sort of vision into the possible future, so he decides to use the staff to create Ultron, which is a project he had been working on before to kind of protect the world, and it would kind of be the end of the Avengers because of this program that was created to protect the Earth from alien invasion, this, that, and the other. And there births Ultron, and Ultron says, oh yeah, there can definitely be peace by the extinction of the human race, because if we haven't learned anything before, robots want to kill us. Robots always want to kill us. In any case, he creates multiple copies of himself, and they go across the world trying to chase him down. He gets vibranium. He creates a death mechanism that is programmed to rise above the clouds and then hurtle back down to the Earth, replicating an asteroid, destroying all life on Earth, and declaring him as the sole survivor. Peace, harmony. And the Avengers stop him, and that's really a super condensed story in a nutshell. A lot of times, this movie felt like it was a commercial for Phase 3. So we had some seeds planted for Captain America Civil War, and then there are some seeds planted for Thor Ragnarok, and then we got the first seeds of Black Panther. We get introduced to the twins, Pietro and Wanda Maximoff, and I really enjoyed what they did with Wanda. I wasn't really that big of a fan of what they did with Pietro. And the reason why I'm not a big fan of what they did with Quicksilver has nothing to do with that movie. It has everything to do with X-Men Days of Future Past. When you see that Quicksilver and combine him with this Quicksilver, there is a clear and definite winner. And unfortunately, it's not this one. So this has nothing to do against Aaron. It has nothing to do against the writers. It just didn't work out as well as it did in the previous X-Men edition. We also get introduced to a new villain, Ultron, and the movie's called Age of Ultron. It felt more like Avengers Week of Ultron. It doesn't really play an age role very well. There's a graphic novel called Age of Ultron, and in this one it incorporates Ultron completely taking over the world, and he's killing Avengers, and the Avengers have no course forward, and so they have to actually travel back in time, and it's this whole thing where it's an actual Age of Ultron. This is not an Age of Ultron. It's just the skirmish of Ultron. But some of the more important things that happen in this, or some of the more things that are spectacles in this movie. Number one, we get to see a really awesome fight between the Hulk and Tony in the Hulk Buster armor, which we were teased in the very first trailer, but this time we get to see the battle completely happen with fruition, where we see the Hulk completely go ape. I can't say that word. We see the Hulk just straight up go savage, and we see Tony having to call in Veronica and stop Banner from going crazy and hulking out in this in South Africa. We get our next mention of an Infinity Stone. This time it's the Mind Stone, which was in Loki's scepter the whole time. Nobody said anything until now. And we're also introduced to Vision, which Ultron was creating him for his perfect body, but the Avengers take it, they change it for good, they put Jarvis in there, and they put the Mind Stone as a secondary processor, so to speak. I guess you could say that. There's a whole scene where all the Avengers try to lift the hammer, and Thor's like, "You're not worthy." And that's, great. It was a really fun scene. I like the fact that Cap almost lifted it. I think, he was just like, "Oh, this is Thor's thing. I'm not going to steal it from him." I think Cap could totally have lifted it, but it's okay. And Vision just like, "But we have to go now." And everybody was shell-shocked. I was shell-shocked. The whole audience was shell-shocked. And then there's the scene on Sokovia when Sokovia is rising from the ground and it's about to, at any moment, crash down. And we see Hawkeye going to save this kid. And right before Hawkeye bites the dust trying to save the kid, Quicksilver comes and sacrifices his life to save Hawkeye and the kid. It wasn't as emotionally grounding for me as it was when Phil Coulson died trying to defend the helicarrier in the first Avengers. Joss has this thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm directing something? Alright, we're gonna kill somebody big." And this one, it just didn't feel as big. And so, like I said at the very beginning, this movie felt very ambitious, and not to say it's a bad movie, like it's a good B. Like, it's not a C, it's a good B. But unfortunately, the ambition of it just wasn't reached, and it's really just, like I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was missing. It's intangible. I can't put my finger on it. That's the definition of intangible. But it's still a fun movie to watch. If you're trying to go through and watch just the essential movies, this one is one of the essential movies. So that's my opinion of it. Josh sent me his opinion on Avengers Age of Ultron. Take it away, Josh.
Avengers 2 is easily one of my favorite movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There is so much going right with this movie. From the very beginning, we get to see all of the different heroes, and we get to see them pushed to the limit. We get to see a lot of really, really cool stuff. We also get to see them challenged in a way they haven't really been challenged before. Part of this is because, of course, Ultron is of their own creation. Tony's basically been playing God, and when Ultron first appears and he's in that raggedy robot and he's talking about, Geppetto and Pinocchio and we've all just got strings, that scene shows, you've been messing with something you shouldn't have been messing with. It very much is reminiscent of scenes like in Jurassic Park about, playing God. This is coming back to haunt you, and it's your own worst fear. What you were trying to protect us from, you've actually, thrown in our face. And I think the timing on that is so great. At the very beginning of the movie, they're crushing the bad guys, they're getting the Mind Scepter, and we're going, okay, everything's good in the world. And then they're relaxing, you see people, drinking a little bit, and they're having kind of a party, and they're all even joking, let's see who can move Thor's hammer. I love the little nod there to Captain America, how he nudges it, and you can hear that, and Thor gets real worried, and then, okay, nothing. And so, again, he's kind of hiding behind a little bit of the arrogance, and part of that, obviously, Captain, this is not the time for him to pick up the hammer. He doesn't need to be worthy right now. This is just them goofing off. But I love the idea because in the comics he has wielded that hammer before, so it's great that they kind of play a nod to that. We got to see more of Hawkeye. I'm not the largest Hawkeye fan, but of course in the first movie he was mind controlled for pretty much all of it. So one of the scenes I really like with Hawkeye is when he gets the drop on Scarlet Witch. So you've got both of them doing stuff and messing up the team, thrashing them left and right and whatever. I love the scene when Quicksilver, just like the Hulk in the first movie, tries to grab the hammer and then starts going with it. That was great. And then, of course, what I was saying with Hawkeye, Hawkeye goes ahead and shoots the special arrow, and it disables Scarlet Witch, and he's going, nope, not again, I've done the mind control. So that was actually really nice. This movie, you get to see the Hulkbuster. Oh my god, that is so cool. If you haven't seen the Hulkbuster that was best costume at the San Diego Comic-Con that particular year, that is a fantastic costume. Well, what was it based off of? It was based off of this movie, which of course is based off the comics and all that. The Hulkbuster was such a treat. Seeing Hulk become kind of the bad guy that they had to beat, a little bit, it had kind of been done a little bit already because we saw that on the helicarrier in the first movie, but this is different. He's got these red eyes and he's really got the rage, and it also upped the threat from Scarlet Witch because truthfully, we really didn't see her do much. She moved some stuff around and she kind of, manipulated fears, but seeing her control Hulk like that and just inciting that rage and having the red eyes and everything else, that was cool. We also got to find out a little bit more about Iron Man here. He's got a satellite that's up, floating around the Earth, and then he's going to be able to send down equipment if he needs. Okay, definitely going to see more of that in the future. That was really, really cool. We're looking at Ultron. We've got James Spader. James Spader's got this real cerebral, just almost like the serial killer type vibe to him, where I don't have to get angry, I don't have to yell at you, I know all your secrets, and you're doomed already. And that's kind of how it feels. They're trying to figure out what's going on, and when they're having all of the fallout from everything, what are we going to do? We've got Ultron that's basically taking care of everything and taking charge. And then, of course, they have to band together in order to defeat him. I love watching Vision, both when he's first constructed, which is really great because, of course, you see him being put together, and then you see when he looks at his reflection and realizes, what am I? And then I love he adds the cloak, the cape, just like Thor. That was fantastic. And when he talks about being on the side of life, I don't know what I am. I know I'm not evil. It very much felt like a Frankenstein's monster thing, evil may have created it or helped in some part, but evil doesn't control it. Evil may have wanted to use it for bad things, but I'm not evil. And I love how he even empathizes with Ultron a little. He says, he's a being in great pain, and he would destroy the world, but I hate to destroy him. He's a singular thing, and I'm on the side of life. And so he recognizes that Ultron is live, but obviously needs to be stopped, and he's kind of doing the weighing balance there. When he picks up the hammer, just, I don't know if you'll ever trust me, and then boom, picks up the hammer. That was a fantastic scene. Vision is one of the strongest Avengers, so it's really nice that he's finally come into this. Thanos is disappointed with everyone. He's disappointed with Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's disappointed with Loki. I'm just going to do it myself, and we see him going to grab the gauntlet. That's really, really big because now, without a shadow of a doubt, this is what's going to happen, and he's coming full force. He doesn't need to send anybody else. He's doing it himself. This is a great movie. Absolutely check it out. There is so much to enjoy. It definitely requires multiple viewings to get everything. There's a lot in this film.
Thank you, Josh, for that review. If you want to send in your reviews, the ones that we're taking right now are Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, and Doctor Strange. Just send in those reviews to comicbookquizbowl@gmail.com. If I use it, you get those bonus entries for the giveaway that I mentioned earlier in the video. So that's it for Avengers Age of Ultron. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And as I said before, if you're new here, subscribe. Share this video with all your friends. And as always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.